Hello, today I want to make a video for you walking you through a before and after of an email that I worked on with one of my clients. It will give you a lot of good tips as to what to do in your welcome email. So when she was sending this out initially, she wasn't getting any responses. And then we tweaked it and she started to get actual replies. So let's dive into it. Okay. So this is my client, Michelle. She is in the wellness space. She's in the fitness space, and her company is called Pivot Your Wellness. So this is the initial email. So she is greeting them here. I'm grateful to be able to connect with you. Thank you for joining the PYW email list. I'm here to say aloha and give you an appetizer of what to expect while being on this email list. So I love that she has this theme here. Appetizer, you're going to see a little bit more in the after email how we carried that through the rest of this this email, but it's just a very nice, fun, welcoming way to start off. Now here she gets into what her mission is with her company, and this is something that I see a lot of business owners doing, especially on websites or in emails. We feel like we have to introduce ourselves because that's how we were taught to write. We were taught to write the 5-paragraph essay. And what do you start with? The introduction. But this doesn't work from a copywriting standpoint. You have to start with what's in it for the client. So even if they align with your mission statement, even if they believe in your mission, you don't want to lead with that. You want to lead with what's ultimately in it for them. So we tweaked this and we moved it somewhere else, and I'll show you in the after. But that is one of the number one things that I can tell you I see across the board again and again and again. And you don't want to be leading with that mission statement. The other thing with this particular mission statement in this email is that Michelle jumped from speaking in first person to third person. So that's just a little weird. You want to keep it consistent. Here she's talking in first person. I'm here to say aloha. And then here it's, Michelle helps women build a health promoting mindset. Okay, so it kind of shifted. So you want to keep it consistent throughout. And if you are sending if then you really want it to sound like it's coming from you and it's not coming from some kind of third party. Even if you actually are a brand, you want to use that word we. If you're not the face of your company and you're just a brand, you still want to have that connection point and not sound like this is some kind of, automation or someone's talking about you. So she talks here a little bit about how, she wants her clients to show up like their version of Beyonce. My cat is here making an appearance. I don't know if you can see him, but anyway, this is Dawson. And then she goes down here and she gets into bullets. So bullets are really key because not only do they draw your eye naturally, but they're short and you want to maximize the information that you're putting in there. Bullets are so important when you're writing to really make sure that you're packing them in with as much useful and juicy stuff as possible. So we completely changed the order and we also made these more specific. So for example, here, she's telling them what to get excited for. This is what you can expect by signing up for this email. You get evidence-based wellness resources, you get interesting analogies and stories, you get affirmations around strength and confidence, you get scrumptious recipes, short movement routines, right? All of these things are things that people might actually want, but there's a way to get them more excited about them and get these a little bit more specific and also inject personality. And you're going to see that in the after, okay? Here, this is more kind of housekeeping stuff. She talks about how you're going to hear from her 1 to 2 times per month, how it makes her happy to hear from you. And so she wants people to respond. And so she's establishing that she's kind of this open door and she wants to hear from people. And then, Michelle has a great personality and it really does come through in her writing. So she says, I'm also an unofficial part-time firefighter here to extinguish any burning women's health questions you may have. So ask away. Okay. So it's just a great way to put yourself into the email instead of just saying, I'm here if you have any questions about women's health issues. It's more fun and it really shows Michelle's particular personality. Okay. Here she has a 15-minute call and this is the button, right? This 15-minute call button. So in Michelle's particular case, most of the time, people that are ending up on this list are people who have met her in real life or engaged with her somehow because she's very active out and about in the actual world, right? Not just online. So in that case, I think it's fine to include a 15-minute call to action in this email. However, if you are doing the typical thing, which most of us do who have online businesses, which is that we will offer a freebie and then people are coming into the list, your number one call to action in that email should not be to book a 15-minute call. Even if they are interested in what you're selling or they're interested in finding out more, a 15-minute call is too much to ask them too soon. It's like if you just met somebody and they're like, oh, hey, can you cat sit for me this weekend? And you're like, I'd never even been to your house. It's just too much. And it puts the onus on them to do something, which is kind of a big ask. So in that case, I would say no. In Michelle's case, her strategy is a little bit different. So I think it was fine, but just a word of caution there. And then here she is speaking about how she's grateful to have these people on her list. And so this is what she is letting them know, that she thanks them for their support, but also she's repeating here a little bit of that mission statement. So I'm going to show you how we address this in the last one, in the after. And then here she signs off. So let's look at how we kind of revamped this. Okay. So there were a few key things that we changed. And then this is how she ended up getting replies. Okay. So she actually had people replying and being like, this email was amazing. Okay. So if that's what you want, then these are the things that we did. So the opening, we didn't really change much, kept it simple, but we did move up the bullets because again, we need to be leading with what is it that they want and what's in it for them. And then you'll also notice that we changed the order of the bullets. So we changed them so that the ones that people care about the most are up at the top. And the ones that are more of a priority for Michelle's ideal clients are up at the top. And then we also made each of them a little bit stronger, especially these top three. So simple, scrumptious, and non-restrictive recipes versus just scrumptious recipes. Short movement routines turned into movement routines shorter than an episode of Seinfeld, right? What is short? To somebody, short could be 45 minutes. To somebody else, short is 10 minutes. So what is a short movement routine? And then grounding it in something that is not what you would normally associate. She could have said, movement routines that are less than half an hour, right? But this is even more specific and it's a more exciting way to say that. And then here, non-gimmicky wellness resources. Okay, so no talk of tea cleanses. That's what we changed from evidence-based wellness resources. And I think the other ones we kept because they were good. All right, we don't need to necessarily go crazy with all of them, but you can see immediately how this does make a difference. And then we carried through this appetizer theme. This is very subtle. Other people may not notice this, but you see the little food emojis. So that was part of it. And it also, in a very subtle way, supports Michelle's mission in not, making people stick to these very stringent diets, right? This is a fitness professional and she's showing you emojis of pasta and pizza. That's, telling you something. So again, people are not necessarily going to notice this on a conscious level, but it does add to her overall mission and her core messaging. Okay. So these points really stayed the same. We didn't change them. What we did change, however, is the 15-minute call. We made it into a bullet point here. So it's just a little bit less in your face. And we did replace that with something else, which I'll show you. And here's what we did with her mission statement. My goal with Pivot Your Wellness is to help women feel stronger and more confident by improving their relationship to their body and mind through movement so they can unleash their inner Beyonce. So now it's more directed at the person themselves, right? And so they can relate to that sense of that confidence and that self-love and that energy that they may associate with Beyonce. And then this is what we did with the button. Okay. I want to know what brings out your inner Beyonce, reply here. So that is the number one call to action that you want. If you are sending somebody a freebie, you want them to download the thing. So you're going to provide the link or however they're going to get it. And then the first thing you want them to do in that email is to reply to. That should be your one goal. So when you send out that first email in your welcome series, somebody signs up, they get the freebie. In that same email, you want them to reply back to you. That is your number one goal. Why? Because first of all, it creates engagement. But second of all, it will automatically flag to whatever that inbox provider is that they care about this email. And so you're not going to have to do that song and dance of, oh, can you move me to the main box? I don't want to be in the promotions tab. People don't do that anyway. Even if they're asked to do that, the likelihood is people are not going to, because it's an extra step for them and they're in their emails, right? They're probably just going on to the next one, perusing, they're going to go do stuff, right? They're not going to necessarily take the time to do that. So you want them to reply, and then that will help you with open rates and things like that later on down the line. The other thing that we did that I think is very important in your first email to your list is that we included a photo of Michelle. So here in the original, there was no photo. By including this, it just helps cement the fact that this is a real person, that this is somebody who exists in the world and that they can have a relationship with. And I think it's a nice, friendly inclusion to have in your emails. So you can see also, last thing that we changed, because I don't want to miss anything, is this text in the blue box. We condensed it down because her mission statement was already up here. And so there really wasn't a need to repeat it again at the bottom. So just comb through your emails and make sure that if you can tighten things up, that you do, so that they're not too long. No one will be upset if your email is shorter, right? So these are just some of the tips that we, what am I doing? Trying to stop the screen share. Okay, there we go. Those are some of the tips that we did for Michelle's initial email. I hope that you found those useful. I hope that you can go through your own emails. So just to recap, don't lead with the mission statement, lead with what's in it for the clients. Your number one goal is to get them to reply. If you're going to use bullets, try to make them as punchy as possible and using as specific of language as you can, and think outside the box in how you are describing things, and don't repeat yourself unnecessarily if you don't need to. The last one is include a picture of you. So hope that helped. I will see you in the next one.